sorry.
I heard hi, sorry, and then it dropped out, but I figured you were probably getting lunch or something, truthfully.
No, I had supervision with the baby psychologist.
You're going to be a baby psychologist? Is that what you mean?
No, I teach them.
Oh, that makes way more sense. Yeah, okay. You look really good today, by the way.
I haven't been a baby psychologist for 15 years. Maybe longer.
Fair enough. Yeah, cool. I've been up for like 2 hours, so that we'll keep that in mind, all right?
Nice. How many coffees have you had?
On my third, I think. Maybe my fourth. I'm not sure. But you know me, I
In
drink.
2 hours. Have you had any water?
Yeah, it's next to me. But
Okay.
like Andrew was here visiting me the other day, and I literally drank a coffee, got up, made another one, drunk it, got up and made another one. And he's like, "How many coffees do you drink?" And I was like, "About 3 back to back when I first wake up, and then I just drink them throughout the day."
I think more than 5 is not great.
You try living with all the bullshit I live with, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm just saying from like a heart health point of view.
Oh yeah, well I've got bigger things to worry about since I bought a packet of cigarettes on Sunday, so we'll just deal with that one at a time, yeah? Coffee's the last of my problems. I know, but you know what I realized, and I totally fucked up because I was like, oh my god, vapes suck, blah blah blah. And then I realized, so I hired this woman to come and help me clean my house on Sunday, right? So I put up an ad on Gumtree and I was like, I'm not coping very well because all my mental, physical, brain power, whatever is going to school, right? And as you know, I've been having breakdown after flipping breakdown about uni, which thankfully is sorted, and I'll get to that soon. But I put up an ad on Gumtree saying, look, I'm on disability, I'm trying to put myself through school, but I'm really struggling with just keeping like the floor vacuumed and mopped. It was just, I wanted someone that could just come in weekly and just do that for me, yeah? Just,
Yeah.
like, it makes the hugest difference. Like, my house could be exactly the same and the floors are fucked because of boss, and then the floors can be done and it's like I'm in a new house without anything else being done.
Does he drop a lot of hair?
So much. Oh my god, it's like living in the Western, with those big hay bale things that go through the...
Tumbleweed.
Yes, well, it's like that with boss's fur everywhere. If I don't vacuum like every day, it's crazy.
I had a husky like that.
Oh, huskies are the worst, man. I remember how I had to do the fostering for that Malamute. I still can't get the fucking white fur off the couch blankets, and I've washed them so many times. So
No, it's coarse hair. You have to get a wet face, like a slightly wet face washer, and then it should come off like that.
good to know. I'm writing that down because I'm not kidding how many times I've tried to get it off since doing, it's driving me
Or
bonkers.
like a clothes brush, like a brush.
Gotcha. I'm writing these down. But yeah, so I put the ad up, and this woman replied, and she said, look, I'm on disability too. I take public transport, blah, blah, blah. You know me, I'm a soft-hearted person. I was like, oh, if I can help her. She was a single mom, all this stuff. Anyway, I decided it's doing it again. Why are we echoing? Is that better? Oh, it echoed non-stop last time, and our last therapy session I have watched like 5 times, and it's full of echoes. So,
Am I echoing now?
no, it's okay. I think it's something to do with how close I have the cameras. Me and Andrew were talking about it, so I've moved my other one away, because I've never had these problems before, but it's only started since
You've been seeing me, for a while.
it's started since you're in this office. Yeah, it's doing it again. I got no idea. Maybe sit back from your computer a little bit. I don't know. Okay, don't run away from me, woman.
I'm not. I'm like 2 feet further, like less, 1 foot further.
Well, it's not echoing, so that helps.
Well, there you go. It's because I changed computers, maybe.
Oh, got to be something because it only started last time. And I shit you not, the last therapy session we did is so popular, I've watched it like 5 times. It was so eye-opening for me. I was just like, wow, like I have had so many revelations.
Maybe let me move my phone, see if it changes.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it seems...
Is that better?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, as long if we hear the echo, I know it's being recorded because it dropped it out. But there's no echo now, so we're fine. It's all good. You can come
I
back.
can't hear the echo though.
Yeah, well, I can't anymore, so that's perfect. Just you can come back. We'll figure it out as we go. I have to invest Yep, and it's back again. Fucking hell. It's got to be your computer. As soon as you move closer, it comes back. Sorry, darling. Now it's better. I'm going to have to go and invest in like proper... I made a video earlier when I got up, and I've got like a proper, you know, those hand camcorders, like an actual video camera. But it's like 15 years old or something. So I'm going to bring it down and have a look at it. But I think I'm going to have to invest in stuff because there's definitely a fucking echo and I don't know why. And yeah. Anyway. I don't like your new computer. But yeah, I got this woman. Picked her up from Caroline Springs on Sunday because public transport's shit anyway. And I was like, it's Sunday. And I was stressing about this assignment. I do not know how to fix the echo, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. It's really weird because now it's back and it keeps changing, so I don't know what's going on, eh?
I'll mute when I'm not talking. Go.
Okay, that's better. So basically, I picked her up from Caroline Springs. I dropped her back. I knew she was a cigarette smoker, and for whatever reason, as soon as she got in my car, I was like, "Can I have one?" And I knew I was going to ask for one to the point where I took a roll of thread with a pin, like a sewing needle in it, right? Because if people have really strong cigarettes, you can poke holes in the filter to make them light. So I already foreknew that was going to happen. That's like, I took it with me and I was like, can I please have one? And she's like, oh, it's my last packet. And I knew she was on disability as well. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I had one and I was like, yeah, fuck it. And we're going past the store. I've got to get some. So I got like the lightest ones ever, and I only have a few, with my coffee in the morning usually. I haven't had any today. But she came and she helped. So, she helped me do my sheets, the floors and whatnot. I ended up buying her like lunch, energy drinks, and because of the time she was with me, I ended up giving her $40, but I sent her a message yesterday saying, look, I super duper appreciate your help and everything, but economically wise, this isn't going to work. I'm like, I said, for me, I need to be able to save as much money as possible. So to get a professional cleaner in for like an hour, that'll be like $25 maybe. They'll just come in and do it all.
If that's $25, please advise, because our cleaners are a lot more than that.
Really? Because I've been like, I was looking and there were heaps like $21, $25 an hour, but I have a bleeding heart and I thought, I wanted to help her, and it just ended up costing so much more than it should have for what it was.
And you have to be just a little bit careful, because it's possible that we don't know why this person was on disability. We don't want to perpetuate an illness.
Oh no, I know why. She told me all of it. You know what I'm like. But
also,
you are right though, and I got
somebody with insurance.
I didn't even know you'd have to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, if somebody like is vacuuming your house and hurts their back, then.
Well, that's interesting, because my mum's obviously she was she did housework as when we were kids, because she was on disability, and yeah, obviously I didn't know any of that. But look, I've said to her, this isn't going to work. It's just not feasible, and she was totally fine about that. I haven't done anything about it since, because the house is looking good, and I've also got 2 weeks extension. So I finally bit the bullet, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, I am going literally crazy over this assignment. And I sent it to someone who'd finished just to get a read through, and she was like, the number one problem that you're obviously having is you don't know what you're arguing. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. She's like, how can you write anything if you don't know what you're arguing? And I was like, wow, thanks for at least pointing it out to me. So I decided to apply for the extension, and I got an email yesterday, and it turns out, you know how my paperwork at school says I can get an extension for up to 2 weeks without having to get paperwork every time? Basically, every single student who has that in place in the School of Psychology, so if you're a psych student and you've got the same paperwork I have, uni has now decided to effectively, like every single assignment I've got moving forward has the 2 weeks added on top automatically. Moving, like, for all of us. So it's fantastic. So now it's like, you should see my desk. It's got fucking bullshit everywhere. I'm not kidding, man. I've got like 3 different notepads happening. I'm so confusing myself. I was reading through them when I was waiting for you to click on, and I was like, oh my God, my argument's in my notes. It's just not on the paper. So I'm going to...
Sometimes remember that when you have ADHD, you're going to over control all of your calendars and your organization and then make it impossible to do.
I swear I'm not coping with this ADHD diagnosis because I don't fully get what it's like. I read somewhere it's not a mental illness, it's a neurological illness because the actual things in our brain are different. And I'm that sort of person who kind of needs to see it. Like how do I get one of these tests to see the brain? Like, I'm
Well,
it's fucking with me
you
a
can see
lot.
your brain, but you can see your brain, but it doesn't show you how it works.
Well, one of these books I've got is like, here's a healthy person, here's an ADHD person, and they're very different. And I was just, I cannot wrap my head around it. BPD, bipolar, suicide ideation, all of them, yep, got a handle on it. ADHD, not so much. And apparently that's why I talk so much. I don't know. I'm reading all the stuff like, oh, she must be ADHD because she talks so much and she talks so fast. And I'm just like...
That's a detail, yeah. That's a thing. That's part of the ADHD.
I want to learn how to stop doing that. I had it reflected back to me in group therapy last week, just how fucking annoying it actually is. Not that I said that to them, but I walked out of there thinking,
about that.
why is it called group therapy when it's clearly not group therapy? It's just fucking DBT skills learning. It didn't hit me until I got home just how much they're trying to cram into this. Because the first thing she said was, we're jam-packing a lot in. And I was like, yeah. And I got home because I was in a fucking mood. Like, I self-fulfilling prophecy at the very beginning was like, I interrupt people. I'm trying not to do that. Is there a signal we can use? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we continue on. One of them's talking and I interrupted. I said something that apparently invalidated her. She started crying. I got angry. I got up and walked out. So they were like, do you want us to come? And I was like, no, I don't. That's why I'm leaving. So I went to the bathroom. All my stuff was still in the room. So it was obvious I wasn't leaving. Like, I didn't take anything. Then the other provisionary one, so there's, provisionary 1A, so we'll call her K, and provisionary 2, let's call her Al, I don't know, and then peer support person, right? So second provisionary person came out after me and she's like, would you like to go to another room? Would you like to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I do not. I was like, we got 10 minutes left. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to sit down and shut up. And then I'm going to go the fuck home, which is what I want to do. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't good.
Let's talk about group. It is about group therapy. It's not about group share your traumas. It's about group therapy with a view to learn skills in a practical situation and tailor them to you. So yeah, it is a lot. I've run the groups myself before, but I think week one's always hard for the dynamic of the group. And so we've spoken, K or whatever we're calling them, and L.
Yeah, K now. I only remember the first person's name. That's why I said K. I don't even remember the other person's name. I just remember the peer support person because she fully is.
You're very close. That's why I was like, oh.
Well, what's the letter of the second person's name? Because I actually don't remember.
Actually, the first person's name is a C.
Ah, wow. Okay, but you knew what I mean.
The second person name starts with a K, but that's.
Oh well, there we go. CK, so easy peasy. All right then, 1 and 2 is like, yeah.
The point is, the first group is always the one where everybody's a little bit on edge, everybody's a little bit this. So I've spoken to whatever, the first one, about how we're going to interrupt.
I'm not. I just want to zip it.
No, not
you need to teach me how.
So she's like, so sometimes.
Oh shit! They had no idea how to rein it in. I was just watching them from the point of view, going, "You guys are so in the deep end." Like, you could physically see the two of them having no idea how to rein it in. And by this point, I was just watching and laughing in my head because I was just like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I've already fucked up. I've already made someone cry.
Tomorrow, so.
Huh?
You got me. I'm on site tomorrow, so I'll be seeing them. I'll be in and out.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what they need to learn. They're really nice and all that, but we didn't get through any of it. We got through like one page.
But part of the process of learning individual, they can do individual, but part of the process of group is learning to be like, Yeah, thanks for that, Liv. We're going to do this now. And that's what they need to be confident enough to do. And
Yeah.
we'll get from there.
They'll get there for sure. I don't doubt that. But like I said, it wasn't until I got home, because I'm the only one in that group that's done it before. And then they kept saying shit like, I obviously know all this stuff. And then the peer support woman said something that I just have not been able to get out of my head till date, because I swear she thinks it was some kind of backwards ass fucking compliment when really it was this huge insult, yeah? So I had said I'd done DBT. I've done it at the Albert Road Clinic. So I've done like full proper, it was two full day week. It was months of therapy for like 2 full business days a week. It's totally different. And this woman, the group support person, she was like, oh, you have no idea how good it makes me and the rest of us feel that you've been working on yourself for over 10 years and you're still as screwed up as the rest of us. What the fuck? That was highly insulting. Basically, she's saying to me, you've done all the work, but you're still here with us as a fucker. Like, what the fuck? If I didn't walk out the first time, I would have walked out on that one, like, because that was insulting to the T. She literally said, I'm so happy you're still as screwed up as the rest of us.
Yeah, that's...
You might want to say something, because I won't be able to hold my tongue next time.
I think that's not great. I think knowing her, I think it's probably, as you said, it's a compliment, because one of her mantras is we all have problems.
Yeah, I know she was trying to say it in a good way. That's why I said
but
that.
What she did, Liv, it was inappropriate. She shouldn't have said it, and that's not okay.
I'm as screwed up as everyone else.
She meant it in the way that it was, it's what she actually said.
Yeah, and it's the same with me.
You're allowed to be upset about that, because it's actually inappropriate in every way.
Thank you. That's what I thought, because I was like, you don't know me. I'm 1,000 times better than I was, even from when I've started with you. I'm a different person to who I was in January.
Or whichever her name is that you've
it
as. I actually told her, I think you're going to be a huge asset to the group, because you are, 1, open, 2, well-versed in DBT, and 3, you do have the storyteller background, and you do know how to describe things to people without it being traumatic.
Yeah.
I think that it's great that you're a huge asset to it.
Thank you.
Hopefully they use it and don't burn it.
I just have to learn, like, this. Like, I watched, obviously, like I've said, our last therapy session, I watched it more times than any of the others, and I saw with my own 2 eyes for the first time what I guess other people see. Because remember how I kept saying, people obviously don't see me the way I see me, and I obviously communicate differently.
You were dysregulated last session.
I was angry as fuck. That's why I watched it so many times, because I don't see myself like that.
Throughout the course of the session, you were able to use the skills. You did do some check the facts. You did do some self-validation. You did the check-ins with yourself. You did the grounding. You did it.
Yeah, thank you.
And at the end of the session, you were much more regulated.
Which I guess is why I felt so much worse in group therapy, because I couldn't believe it happened on day dot. And it was my fault. I fucked up.
Always happens first session.
I was just so confused, like the trainers, 1 and 2. Because, C's the first one. It's clear she's the one in charge, and the other one's sort of secondary backup sort of thing, from what I got, yeah? And this woman was telling whatever story she was, and it was literally the exact opposite of what we'd just been told to do. And that's when my confused brain was like, wait, what? And I said out loud my confusion, and that's what started the whole thing. And no, but I'm the last person that wants to actually hurt someone or make such. She cried because of what I said. It broke me.
I think that there was too much opportunity for sharing.
That's why it was so confusing, because that's what I'm used to. Group therapy to me is sharing.
It derailed the content. Like, so then you don't do the content because you're all validating, trying hard not to break eggshells that we've stood on already.
So many pages. We got through page 1. And that's all I kept thinking was, if this is actually 2 hours to learn this, all of that sharing needs to zip it. And that's when I, for the first time in my nearly 37 years, was like, I think I finally see what people are talking about. Like, I'm not kidding. You know, I'm spiritual. I believe things are reflected back to us when they just kept on talking. And the peer support woman had this entire speech written out. She must have talked for like 20 fucking minutes. And I'm just like, shut up. Shut up. I'm paying to be here. I want to learn these skills that I've already learned, but I clearly need some help refreshing my memory. And yeah, first time in my whole life, I'm just thinking, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. And then I'm like, oh, this must be what other people think about me. So that was my biggest takeaway. I finally see what it is like when I don't shut up.
I have framed it to the girls as, hey, ladies, I think you need to just start fresh, sweet peas.
Basically. Well, they told us 3 people weren't there. Do you have any idea if these 3 people are coming or if it's just going to be us? Because it was tiny.
No, there should be. There was a couple of medical emergencies prior to the appointment.
Ah, gotcha. Because they rang me yesterday and said that I need to keep my card on file and it's like $45 and then there's Medicare thing. And I said to her, I'm not giving you my card. I'm not doing anything until I speak to Nicole. And she was quite like, and I was like, I'm speaking to Nicole tomorrow. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, you can't push me into doing shit, mate. I'm not giving you my card. Like, obviously I'm going to pay for it, but like, I needed to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can.
That you're actually going to feel like the group is going to do something for you.
Yes, and up until this conversation, I've been second guessing that because, like I said, I have, like, to me, yes, I was dysregulated last time. Yes, I've had a lot of shit going on, and I understand that. But like you said, I truly feel like I am putting so much more into play. Like, I'm better at regulating myself. My mum got her birthday present, so I sent her early because her birthday is her 70th next month, right? Okay.
How do you know?
So I bought her this really fancy thing online. Cost, a decent amount of money. It was all personally inscribed.
What is it?
It was like, it's a homemade sort of wooden box that you could use for trinkets and stuff, but it had the tree of life hand engraved into it. And then it had like this silver sort of inner part where you could get subscriptions. So I just said, happy 70th birthday, Mum. I love you so much. Love, Olivia. And I'd sent it early because obviously, when we're in no contact, there's all this stuff, but it's, with what happened with my sister, like the idea of something happening to my family and not having said something like I love you is horrifying to me. And my sister's obviously just wiped her hands, and I get that. That's fine. But I didn't want my mum to think that it's her 70th. Obviously, I was going to do something, and it was, to me, more important to get it done early than not. So I spent like 2 flipping days working my head around what to get, looking for stuff, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it arrived. She got it on Saturday. I got the message. I was in the shower, and I got out of the shower to a message saying, hi, I got your birthday present. It's lovely, thank you. I do love you, but I'm putting me first. And she confirmed that there is no ever going to be a relationship between us. And yes, I had a breakdown.
Or the relationship won't look like what it was.
No, it was very clear she doesn't want me in her life. Like, it was, I'm saying thank you, I'm saying I got it, I'm letting you know I do love you, but we're not going to be mother-daughter. And you know what, that's how it has to be. It's how it has to be, because you of all people know when she's in my life how fucked up my emotions can become.
She seems to maybe not be a trigger, but
no, she's a trigger. She's a trigger. 100%. She's a trigger. I love my mum. But my mum's going to be 70. She's of that generation. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that she's either got bipolar or borderline, or more than likely both. There's a really good chance. Like, how many therapists have I seen before you, doll? Like, so many therapists, yes? And all of them that I've gone into full detail with have all said the same thing. Your mum is very, very much mentally unwell, but flat out refuses to even agree. As far as she's concerned, every single thing wrong with her life is our fault, or more specifically, my fault. And yeah, so she wouldn't get medicated because she won't even admit there's anything wrong. Blink, so I know you're like still there. Hello? Yeah, I thought that. Hello? Oi, woman. Dang it. Let's try this again. We lost ya. All right. What's happening? Are you back? I was like, hello, what happened? You're so funny. I know you're...
I just sent you a text message. Read your text message.
Okay. I saw one pop up.
Oh, I swiped a bug and I accidentally hung up on you.
Is that what it was? I was like, where have you gone? Oh, I love how much you're laughing. That's so funny. Click again. I hit the bug when... Yeah, okay, I've got you. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Reminder, new computer is touch screen. Just saying.
Oh, mine too. I went to wipe something off mine and the whole video moved almost out of the screen. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I hear you. But yeah, like, I don't know. I think now that I've sent her the present, I feel like whatever happens moving forward is fine because I've done all that I can.
And you did what was right for you based on the values of what matters to you. In a relationship, you wanted to reach out, you wanted to have opportunity, you wanted to olive branch, you wanted to say, I love you, and you got it back.
Yeah.
You got the validation. Thank you. I love it. I love you. And it doesn't change everything. But we got what, in some ways, we kind of got what we needed from that.
No, that's exactly right. That what you just said exactly. And like I said, obviously, you know, I cried at the time, but I think that was just a given. I've been super emotional with stuff.
It's grief because it's not how we envisage what we want it to be like.
No, of course not.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I get that. I mean, I've been going through a bit of a self-pity stage, I'll be honest, and feeling like nobody likes me and like I've got no friends and that's why I spend all my time alone. And I know it's silly because I do have friends, but you know, most of the time I see them online. You know, the very few that I've got in person.
Friendships are also important, but as we talked about last time, you do want to have the physical connections and the in-person, you know, without the glass between you.
Yeah, exactly. So since speaking to you, like I've got a couple of uni friends, for example. One's like mid-20s. He's in a couple of my units, which is helpful. And the other one's already finished. He's like 22. And he and I we always chat. Like we chatted last week. Actually, it was Thursday because I had to stop the chat to get to group therapy on time. And we talked for like over 2 hours. We just get along so well. And he lives literally across the road from the doctor, my doctor. So it's like perfect. So whenever I'm around there, I go and visit him. Me and his mum get along, house on fire. He was the one that said, you know, worst case scenario, if shit goes wrong with your house, I'll ask Mum if you can crash, you know, until you figure shit out. Because, you know, they've got a big enough place, so to speak, in that. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I think I'm noticing this stuff about myself that I've realized that I actually don't like about me. I just hadn't fully realized it. So lots of shit's coming up.
Which part of you is not likable?
Okay, so like I said, I've watched the last therapy session a number of times. Now, we were talking about something to do with willpower. And you said something along the lines of, we know you can do, because I said I want to do philosophy, not psychology, and you were like, you can do it, right? I'm not totally sure I fully agree, because I said to the girls in group therapy, I was like, fuck me, psychology is hard. Though I said I'm going down the philosophy route, and the entire group were like, philosophy's hard too, Liv. And I'm like,
Both things are hard.
I haven't thought of it like that.
And hard in different ways.
Exactly.
And will attract different things and different characters and different.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I've been saying, like I love the content of Psych, but the idea of doing all of that, like I could do what those women are doing. When I actually saw them and I put myself in it, I was like, I know how to be a grown up. I could do it, whether I want to or not. There's a different story. But the point I want to make is we were having a conversation, you and I, and we talked about it, and you were like, we know if you live that you can do anything you set your mind to. We've seen it before. Perfect. I replied with, yeah, well, I quit a daily ice addiction, mind over matter. But when you watch it back, for example, it's almost like I feel the need to have to say this shit when really I don't. Like, I'm saying stuff that doesn't need to be said.
Step is when you don't. So as you're learning this,
Yeah.
like, and this is probably because of your DBT history. As we're learning it, we say things like check the facts, look for evidence against, classic CBT, classic DBT. So when we say, what's the evidence for your thought that that you can't have it all or can't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have evidence for that, but I do have evidence that I could do anything I put my mind to. Here's the evidence from my past.
Okay.
So this is a therapy train that we've built into you.
Okay, because when I watch it
when
back,
you did classic CBT at the beginning, we're saying, well, why couldn't you do it? Like, look at these examples, and we build the examples. We call it stacking the deck, or looking for evidence for the thought that challenges the original invalid experience.
Okay, that makes sense. Because like watching it back, I was like, why did I need to, like, why do I say these things that aren't necessary? And it's in my general life, I'm noticing I do it too.
For a series of reasons. One, because we've therapy trained it into you, and two, because you're a storyteller, and three, because you're probably validating for yourself. That's self-validation. You're like, yeah, I can. Look, I did this, this, and this.
But does it look bad? Like, will I get to a point where I don't need to do that?
Eventually, you don't have to do that. But because you're a storyteller, Liv, you probably always will have the propensity to doing that.
Yeah, like, I must admit, like, when people tell me stories and I tell stories, like, that's why I say I'm a philosopher. Like, to me, I literally pictured the story in my head like it's a movie being played. You can't watch a movie being played if there's big chunks of info being missed. And that's, I guess, what I'm like, but...
The only time that it becomes a problem when we're giving extra, giving the next thing, is if someone's explaining something to you. So, and this is where group can happen, and this is probably also because of your DBT past, right? People who haven't had DBT experience in the past, you tell a story, and in group therapy or in life or in things, you have had the experience of, and you let them have that story, you validate that story at the end. But for a lot of people that haven't had that group dynamic situation, it's I tell a story, you tell a story. That's the reciprocity of a relationship, the dynamic. They feel an urge to, you said one, I say two.
That's what I've been doing. I realized that yesterday. So I've made friends. Oh, okay, fuck, all right. So, my lovely neighbours next door and what they're into. Well, it's a revolving door and there's a new person there, right? So... yeah, on Sunday when the woman was here, he was outside. They've been having major issues with their water. Now, I've been having issues with my water, and the council, City West Water, had to come in, take the fence down, bring in a big excavator, and dig up my entire freaking backyard and replace all the pipes last week, right? Yeah, it was full on, yeah? So it was, one of those days. And anyway, the neighbours are having problems too. So on Sunday, it was a nice day. I was outside having... I don't know what I was doing. I saw him and he had like a shopping basket full of bottles, and he had come over and he's like, hey, we're having these issues, blah, blah, blah. Do you mind if I fill these up with water? And I was like, yeah, that's fine, but can you please use the outside tap? Like, we're house cleaning inside and I didn't really want him to come in. Now, I can tell when someone's flying high on ice by looking at them. I've got lots of experience in that, right? And like I'm always saying to people on drugs are still people. So it didn't obviously faze me. I was like, yeah, you can have the water, cool, whatever. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but we're a bit busy now. So yesterday I was outside having a Smirnoff and a cigarette because I don't know, I'd done all the stuff with uni that had just put everything in place, which was amazing.
You're allowed, it's fine, yeah.
Exactly. See, again, trying to justify why I did it.
No justification required.
Exactly. Anyway, he was outside and he was sort of yelling at me from the car area, and then he came up and he's like, can I come and talk to you? He's like, I'm going to ask permission before I even come onto your property, which I thought was quite nice. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. So he came over and we're having a chat, and then he ended up sitting on the step next to me in the porch, and we ended up talking for like 2 hours, this guy and me, right? And he was really cool because, as you said, I'm a storyteller. I tell everyone everything, except obviously there are certain people who don't know about these videos, the neighbours being one of them, because I talk about them, yeah? And look, I knew he was high. I knew he was high as a freaking kite, mate. Of course I did. And so I started the conversation with, oh, you know, like, I'm prescribed weed. I go back and forth with cigarette smoking. Clearly today's one of those days I'm having one. And I was like, oh, you know, what about you? Do you like doing anything fun? Because I knew. I was just waiting for him to admit it, right? So I'm sussing him out, and he's not obviously realising. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's a... And I was like, yeah, I said, oh, there are certain drugs I like, certain drugs I don't like. I said, if the fairies would drop me some acid, I'd be real happy. I said, but on the other hand, I celebrated 6 years of ice last month. And obviously that was all the man needed to go into his stuff, right? And it was quite funny. I realised afterwards, though, that I probably shouldn't have shown him. Like, he got really weird. Like, I showed him my vape. I just cleaned it. I just cleaned all my capsules. Everything was sparkly new and pretty. And obviously I was using it because cleaning vape day is the best day to vape. And he was like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. I didn't know about the prescription stuff, blah, blah, blah. But as the time went on, he got sort of... I called him crazy eyes in my video earlier, because you could sort of see him changing, and it was changing to the point where I was like, hey, dude, like, are you okay? Like, I'm getting a weird vibe off you.
Is it time to go inside now? Your own house?
It was definitely getting to that point, eh? And like, he was acting strange with my vape, and I was like, I'm just gonna take that back now, yeah? And then he's like, can I hold it again? Can I hold it again? I'm like, no. And then he made this comment, and I don't exactly remember what the comment was, something about, oh, I got to get me one of them. And I was like, dude, I'm real easygoing, and I don't really care what you do as long as you're safe. Because, you know, because I'm trained in AOD, so I can't help but do the run through, are you safe, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just what I do with people. Once I got to that point, but when he was acting weird near the end, kind of like he just needed another pipe, I'm thinking, he made that comment, and I looked at him and I went, dude, we're all good, yeah. I said, but should anything go missing from my house, I'm like, especially the vape, I said, you know, the police will be going straight to your house, right? I was like, because that's a given, yeah. I said, anyone fuck with me, I'm calling the cops. So simple, yeah. And he very much got the point. He's like, no, nothing, absolutely, it's all good, man. And I'm like, we're just making sure.
I'm just saying it's nice. Yeah.
Just, yeah. Oh, no fucking way I would let anything happen. Like, I've made it very...
There's an attempted intimidation that's always going to happen, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, people think that I'm scared of people. I took ice for a long time, and I can be very scary, it turns out.
Yeah, and you also know what you're looking for. But if you were inexperienced, naive,
it would have been hard. Like, he changed.
You would have just given it, oh yeah, sure. You know,
he changed.
You just need to get away.
I knew I needed to take it off him at the point I did, because I could see him changing literally before my eyes. And that's when I was like, I'm going to take that back. And then so I started smoking it, because I was like, you're not... He's like, can I hold it again? Can I hold it again? I'm like, no. And that's when I was very clear. I will call the police should anything happen. But
he would go inside your home.
Oh yeah, they are all doing it. I finally gotten what's going on. Like, so yeah, like, he knows not to, obviously, and it was nice, but he did say something that kind of fucked with me. Oh, the fucking earphones back. He was like, you spend a lot of time alone, don't you? And I was like, how do you know that? And he's like, oh, you can just tell. And he sort of wouldn't really explain to me what he meant. And I couldn't tell if it was just because of how much I talk, how much I share, like how fast I talk. Like, I wasn't talking any faster than him, you know. But he made it like really like, it's very apparent you spend a lot of time alone. And I guess it just was like, is that why people don't like me? Am I super full on? Like, why are you saying this? Like, because I'm in my head going, am I just this pathetic loser who doesn't realize it? Do you know what I mean?
No, I think that if you want my opinion, that was probably a veiled intimidation of, I can have what I want and I can come there.
Yeah, once I saw your face when I said it, I think I registered. Didn't register that at the time
It
at
has
all.
nothing to do with whether you're liked by anybody else, other than it means he might see you as somebody he can get something from.
Oh yeah, well I've got my
Whether it's your vape or whether it's you or whether it's whatever, there's
mm,
it's kind of a bit of a veiled threat.
yeah. Well, people shouldn't threaten me
He's
because
not a friendly human, I don't think.
I hear that, but the only difference I would say is at least when I told him I'd quit, unlike the other housemate, he was like, "Yeah, that's awesome, good on you." Didn't try to ask me to do it with him. Didn't any of that stuff. Um,
No.
but yeah, like I have very big knives next to me. Like I've got my knife under my pillow, let's be honest, because
And we
afterwards
just don't want that to be something that you feel like you have to have, though. But I
I've
think the
really
truth is that
at this
any
point I
woman, well, any person who lives alone, there's an element of risk when they have, some, let's say, alternative style neighbors,
yeah, that's
women
why I
next
said to
door
him I've
who
got a
are
yeah. Well, I told him I've
and
got a
who will hide.
really big dog and yeah, so I've got my normal pocket knife that Mr. X gave me that's under my pillow, but I've got one of those. Are you still there? You're like, oh yeah, you are. I've got one of those
Okay.
big, giant, fucking Rambo looking knives. It's like this big, and it's got two-sided blades, and it's in.
Hunting knife, is that the word?
Yeah, maybe it's fucking big, man. It would kill someone if I stuck it in them. I'll put
With
it
like
that
the
way.
holes in where you're supposed to put your hand and you're like, "Rawr."
I'll show it to you the next time we have therapy. It's I don't know. Someone gave it to me, and I was just like, I saw it. I saw one very similar in a store once, and it was like $250 or something. So it's a decent sized knife. But the point is, I've been up against the bad guys so many times when I was on ice. Yeah, like they don't phase me in that sense, but enough to have
But
my
I'm going to
knife
say
under
that
my pillow.
just because you've had the experience of having to deal with people who have,
Hmm.
checkered pasts before, doesn't mean that bad things can't happen to you. And you have
Oh,
to
I know
be,
that. That's why there's a
you
knife
have
under
to
my
be aware.
pillow.
Like, so whilst, yes, you have experience dealing with people, also you have to be wary of people. And I think
I
this
know.
one is somebody who was trying to test the waters of how scared he can make you and what he can get away with.
There was instinctively this feeling of I did not want him to come into my home, and I didn't let him.
Yeah.
Even when it started raining, I was like, we can just sit under the porch because we've been sitting on the stairs. I was like, look, and he must have known because it was, we were outside talking for like 2 hours, but I just didn't want him to come in. There was just this overwhelming feeling, and I stuck to it, and I'm fucking glad that I obviously did. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's not that I'm not worried, and I'm not worried. Obviously, they know. Like it's not like they didn't know I was prescribed weed and all that stuff. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said the knife isn't under my pillow. I'm pretty sure I've told you how many times the cops have arrived. I said to him, I can hear when you got like. I can fucking hear when they're running and screaming and yelling and fight. I can hear every single fucking thing, and my bedroom's right next to it. And this house is very easy to break into. They all are around here. So, like,
They are.
I've been realizing lately, right, that my life is actually really good. Like, when I think about what my ideal life would be, it is literally what I'm living, except the only difference would be a car that is not likely to break down and a home that is mine. That is the only two things I would actually change because I've realized you said it in one of our sessions about being a student for life. Because I remember when I was on the ice, I remember thinking if I won the lotto, for example, I would just study all the time. I wouldn't get a job. I don't really want to work.
Definitely philosophy, Olivia.
I know. I was like, I just want to study. It's all I want to do. I was like, my ideal life is really simple. I don't want to have to set alarms, which I've now stopped doing because I've spoken to Grant finally and I was right. His wife doesn't like the fact that he calls me, is intimidated, is jealous, is all this bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, fucking hell. Because it wasn't me. It was his family. Remember how I told you the family said it at the drinks and she was there? And that's why I felt the need to be like, it's not going to happen. The dude's old enough to be my father. Like, you might be into that. I sure shit am not. Yeah. But yeah, so I said to Grant, I was like, I feel like I've lost my friend. He's like, no, you haven't. He goes, we're just sorting stuff out. I've told her we're going to have dinner together. You need to get to know each other, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, she got really mad. And I was like, I haven't done anything. But then, like I said, I've been really focusing on what my actual ideal life would be. And this started, because all of this started on ice. I was on ice when this stuff started, and I was like, okay, I need to get off ice. And yeah, and I've kind of realized that when I make it like this destination I'm trying to get to, it really defeats, or it kind of nullifies the whole point of my belief system, which is it's the journey.
The whole journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
if your goal in life is to be happy, then how do you magically become happy? Where's the end goal of happy? And once you're there, what happens?
I know, right?
Like, let's just work on being happy today while we're trying to work towards things that matter, that are more realistic as far as goals go.
So before we finish up then, can you maybe help me? Because I agree, philosophy is me, yes, and it is what I want to do, because the things I think about, the things I want to do, no, they're never psych-related. Individually, doing what you do, well, I'm not interested. Like individually, no. Big picture stuff, totally different. But then, okay, I've agreed. I'm at that point. I'm very happy with it. And then my perfectionist brain kicks in and I cry over assignments that really don't matter. But, I mean, I'm feeling really good now because, like I said, every single assignment, I'll get extra 2 weeks.
Don't cry over assignments that don't matter. You cry over assignments because to you've always had the motto, basically. If you're going to do something, you do it to the best of your ability.
It's on my wall.
You want to do well. You want to, you put in a huge amount of effort to everything that you do. Sorry. You put in a huge amount of effort to everything you do.
So many pages.
So why wouldn't you be upset if all of your efforts didn't result in something that you would expect to be, validated?
If I don't get 70 and above on this assignment, I'm going to be cranky and I'm going to cry. I guarantee it. We both know that.
But that has nothing to do with psychology or psychiatry or philosophy or,
so how do I make it
or anything else?
Better.
It's about validating that your effort is worthwhile and useful and not necessarily reflected by a grade that's subjectively put by someone else.
I constantly talk about how our worthiness isn't based on our grades, and yes,
it's not based on what kind of car you drive. It's not based on what clothes you have. It's not based on a lot of things. What it's based on is your efforts and your actions.
Yeah, see, I love studying. It's when I get into the assignment side of stuff with the grades, then it's like a different part of me kicks in.
The difference is that you love learning.
Yes, I love learning.
That's different.
Yes.
Learning.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I hear you. Because I just want to be a student, like I said. But
you're going to be a student of life for the rest of your life. You're going to learn new things forever. That's the whole point.
I know. Hence, I've actually got my ideal life. I mean, I'm living it. I just need to remember that and not let the bullshit fuck me up in my head.
So here's the thing. I'll tell you a secret.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I do marking for a couple of universities.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
For their master's programs.
Gosh, you're clever. Yeah.
It actually just takes a lot of my time and energy at the nighttime. Anyway.
I imagine that would be true.
I sit there on my couch with my computer open after my kids go to bed, and I read somebody else's essay, and I go, so I'm given, the marking rubric.
Yeah. Mine's 6 pages long, the fucking rubric. It's insane.
What? No, okay, anyway. And on this marking thing, I get the rubric and the assignment blurb. So blurb, rubric, and it's 0 to 10 marks in this, or whatever. And I'm supposed to give them an arbitrary mark between 0 and 10 for, style of writing.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. I'll read it and I'll go, you know what? A couple of sentence structure issues, a bit of a reference problem. 7.
I like that. Yeah.
And then, I'll get 0 to 20 about, whatever insert this thing is here. And I'm like, okay. And so I'll read this section and then I'll just be like, the last one I gave a like a 15. This one was like a bit better than that, but like I wouldn't want to give it like more than a 75 or so. So like 16.
Love it. Okay.
And like literally
Yeah.
some random psychologist or whatever is sitting at their house just being like,
I know. This is why I love you. Yeah.
And then I'll press save and I'll be like, good luck.
Yeah, I know. You're
Like,
totally right.
And then sometimes if I come across one that's really, really amazing, and I might give it the same mark as one that wasn't really, really amazing, I'll be like, oh shit. So then I'll either take away marks to that one or I'll give marks to the other one. Then I'm like, but then it's like, I can't overthink this. There's 45 of these.
Oh, I love it. God, thank
so then
you.
I'm like, oh, you know what? Actually, they can have the same mark with us.
I love it. Because you're so right.
It's not arbitrary. Like, there is a plan.
Yeah,
and
I
we
get
do
it.
double mark. But at the same time, literally it's some woman sitting on their couch watching a movie reading your essay.
I know.
It means nothing.
And like I said, my biggest issue was I didn't know what I was arguing. Now I do. So now that's actually obviously going to help me. And we get to resubmit.
And sometimes my husband sits next to me and he'll be watching a movie and I'll just start to giggle. And he'll be like, is that one shit? Good. And I'll be like, and I sometimes will read a sentence out loud and he'll just go, 4.
I love it. Oh, that's good.
No, he doesn't get to mark them. He doesn't get
No,
to
I get it.
He doesn't know, like, obviously. But at the same time,
no, I get it. You're right.
Don't overthink it.
I know.
It's one person's opinion about your writing that means nothing.
I know. And like, I think I was just getting so upset and cranky because I knew, when you've just read the same thing over and over and over again and you're just missing something so obvious. The issue is
that these things that I'm reading are 5,000 words and 50% of their marks. And, I arbitrarily give them a 6 because I don't like their sentence structure.
Oh, gosh.
That's the issue, is that it actually it doesn't validate their effort. I'm validating their content. And that's a very different concept.
Oh, you've made it so much better. I love when you tell me stories like this because it just makes the real life kick in and I get out of my head. But you want to hear the funniest part though? Well, I've obviously got the 2 weeks now, and that's for everything moving forward, but I get to resubmit. This is one of those assignments, so it's worth 45%, and they grade it and they send it back, and then we get to make changes and submit it again.
Well, don't let that cycle go on and on and on, because eventually it's also written on your TV or wherever somewhere, good enough is good enough.
Yeah, massive, on the wall.
Because remember, the competition now is not about winning. Now the competition is about getting through and learning.
Yes.
And the focus shifts, and remember, it's about the learning, not the assessment. Good enough is good enough. If you get a pass, you're done.
I'm going to write that on the wall. Learning, not the assessment, because you're so right. Because when I was on ice and this whole thing started, I was like, I just want to learn forever.
Just learn.
Learning, not the assessment. That's going on the wall. Awesome. So I will see you tomorrow. Is that right? We're meeting up at 3:30 at the cafe. I'm guessing the cafe's easy to find if I just walk in the main doors.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's just on the other side of the lift. So there's like the GP on the one side and then us and the cafe.
Gotcha.
That's all that's on the ground floor. So just walk past us and it's on the same side.
I hope they've got good coffee because I was like, why isn't coffee being provided? But yeah, no, that's cool.
The coffee I drink every day.
I have the paperwork for it. I don't know if I've sent it to you or not. I'll do that this afternoon otherwise or tomorrow morning. But yeah, all good. Awesome. Oh, thank you so much.
See you tomorrow. I won't be in all the time, but I will be in and out of the group.
That's good. I'm glad we've talked about everything.
Make them nervous.
Oh God, they talked about you and how like all of us were all in very much agreement that you are one of the coolest people we've ever met and the best psychologist ever.
Not everybody in the group knows me.
The 3 people that were in the group with me are all your clients. So yeah, they did.
No,
they knew all about. I'm not going crazy. That happened. Ask the 2, B1 and B2. That's what we'll call them. That's easy to remember. Like bananas and pajamas.
I know one of them that
I made cry.
That maybe triggered each other.
Mm-hmm.
They are. I don't know about the.
Oh, well, I don't know because we were all talking about how fantastic you are and how you can't retire for a long time yet.
Well, luckily, I just signed a lease for 5 more years.
Good.
So you're fine.
Good. I'm glad. I
got you. Oh, the other one's not an active client. No,
Oh.
no. I knew of a long time ago.
Yeah, well, that's how we all started talking because of you, so it's all good. But I'm happy, everything's good. You have made me feel so much better.
And I'll tell you, there's five confirmed, one yet, two.
I haven't confirmed because I was like, I'm not doing shit until I speak to you. Sorry.
Oh, don't. I can do it on my phone. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but yes, so 5 confirmed.
And it's fine. Obviously, I'm going to pay for last week's and this week's tomorrow, but you'll do the thing back at the time, yeah? Like whoever the reception lady is. That reception lady with the dreads and the ear pierce, she's fucking cool, man. I really wanted to tell her how hot she was, and I was like, it's probably a little inappropriate, but yeah.
No,
she is a hot. She's like, wow. Oh yeah, no, I'm in a relationship with me, really but cool. she's gorgeous.
She is one of my best finds ever.
Yeah, I just was like, whoa, I could just sit here and watch her. I'm one of those people. I just like watching people.
She gets shit done. Like.
Yeah, no, I could tell that, so all good. But I'm feeling better about group now, so I am glad. All right.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to recommend to the C1 and K4 or whatever that they probably should just start again and like smash some stuff together. But I've told her, like, I did a group and I did it in 9 and I did 2 art group weeks. So you can do it.
She says we're going to get like, this is so much. And I thought this was like for the entire 10 weeks. And she's like, no, you'll get more next week and the week after. And I'm like, we got through one page out of, I don't know how many.
I wrote the program. I'll say the first week is quite heavy. Usually it's about 4 or 5 pieces of paper, but they're not usually worksheets.
Oh, I haven't actually read them yet. Maybe I should do that before tomorrow.
Let them teach you.
Okay, all right, good. Because I was like,
don't overthink group. You can't, it's fine.
Oh, believe you me, I'm not overthinking it. But yeah, all good. I am feeling good. I'm feeling, gonna get some work done.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you do. Yay. All right, darling. I hope you have a good rest of the evening.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Always.
What did you think about the new digs? What do you think about the clinic?
Yeah, I like it. So it's a woman's hub. Does that mean like you obviously have male clients though, right?
It's just what it's called. Like There's still dietitians and physios and all
better parking and shit. So yeah, I liked it like that. Yeah.
Parking, quiet.
Yes, because I didn't know where
weight room. So
yeah, no, I liked it. It was good. The only thing that was confusing is B1 and B2 kept saying there was a toilet at the end of the corridor, and it clearly says it's staff only. So I feel like that might be a little confusing. You might want to let them know that it's not.
Is B1 and B2 the patients or the teachers?
No, the teachers. Let's just call B1 and B2 the teachers, because otherwise it will B1 is obviously K.
To sort out the toilet situation. All right.
Because throughout the whole thing, it's right there, and it's like, well, no,
we don't have
clearly
says
yet,
staff. So we can't have patients use it. We're not allowed.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So, it hasn't got commercial cleaning contract yet. We haven't been able to get anybody.
Ah, well, there you go. Jump on Gumtree. That's what I was looking at. There's really good prices for like commercial cleaners. But yeah, I mean, call them. I can't even remember their flipping names. But if we call them B1 and B2, at least we'll remember B1's in charge.
I will remember B1 and B2.
You got kids, man.
B1 in charge, B2 is secondary.
Exactly. As long as I just remember not to call that to the face, that's all good, man.
You can.
Well,
don't tell them that it's because, don't, but I'll tell them it's for your video.
Yeah, I was going to say, because obviously I'm not telling them I actually record these videos to keep this private, because, but all good. I am so happy. And we did it without almost any echoing. Yay. All right. Good to see you, darling. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
Bye. Oh, hopefully this is easier and better to watch. I have work to do now. Later.